Hello, everyone. I wanted to share a story, a very inspirational story that inspired me a long time ago. But not everyone knows about this story. This burnt girl you see here is Jacqueline Sabarido. I think that's how you pronounce the last name, Sabarido. She was hit by a drunk driver. In fact, that guy standing behind her is the guy that hit her, and her car burst into flames, and she suffered horrible, horrible burns all over her face, as you can see. And not just her face, but all over her body. Now, this is the drunk driver. You can see how guilty he looks. How that... Just imagine being responsible for something like this, where you ruined this girl's life, and just imagine how guilty you would feel. This is one reason right there to never drink and drive, because you wouldn't want to ever experience that guilt. Because when people experience that kind of guilt, a lot of times they'll be driven to suicidal behaviors because they're trying to, punish themselves for this horrible thing they did. There are no redos in life. You got to be really careful with all your actions. You can't go back. You can't change what happened. You got to stop making mistakes. Like, mistakes can be deadly. This girl could have died because of the mistake that this guy, this drunk driver, he was careless. And now he's got to live with a huge guilt trip for the rest of his life. So here you can see the before and after. She was a pretty girl. The most inspirational part of this story is a clip that I'm about to show you. Jacqueline still loves life, and she still tries to be happy.
Yeah, I received so many letters, email letters and regular letters that say a common word that is inspiration. So I'm happy that people feels like I inspired them, but all times I think if you want to do anything, never give up. You need to keep going and continue the life, and whatever thing happens in your life, you need to keep going and to be happy. Yes.
So the take-home message here, I think, for everyone is you can see how much she loves life despite these horrible things that have happened to her. Having to live with this burnt face, but she still loves life. She still pushes through, and she still wants to keep going. This, I think, shows really how special it is to be alive. Despite the circumstances of your life, you should have the attitude that you're just lucky to be alive, period. You're lucky that you're not dead. And as long as you're alive, you still have the chance to live forever. So I hope that, this life is very difficult. You're probably going to have horrible, horrible things happen to you in your life, statistically. I mean, you might have to experience people dying, people that you really love dying. And it's going to be a nightmarish, hellish experience. But I hope that we can take a lesson from Jacqueline, and even when horrible things happen to us in our life, that we can still love life, that we can still appreciate the fact that we're still alive, and that we can still live forever. As long as you're alive, you have hope, and you have hope for an amazing future. A future that never ends. And that should make us all very, very happy, despite the horrible things that happen to us. That's it. I just wanted to share this, and hopefully it inspires some people. Because, there are a lot of suicidal people out there. There are people with suicidal tendencies. And hopefully they can look at Jacqueline and be like, wow, if she loves life, even after this horrible thing has happened to her, well, then I should love life, because what I'm experiencing is not as bad as what she's experiencing. But even if what you're experiencing is far worse than what Jacqueline experienced, you should still love life. I mean, what other alternative do you have? You either keep going and trying to live forever, or you give up. It's either life or death. So I just hope everyone chooses life. And while we're on the subject of suicide, I'm just reminded how much I hate when popular culture or celebrities or whatever, or movies, they oftentimes suicide is romanticized. We need to fight against that. We need to push back and say, no, suicide is not cool. Suicide is for weak people. Suicide is something more that a loser would do, not a winner. You might expect a loser to say something like this: I wish I were dead already. I love the idea that it'll all be over. It's just a relief, really. That's Deathist blasphemy right there. And yet people like Lana Del Rey and so many others who promote a suicidal message, they're being lifted up by our society. And people are using these people as role models. It's really, really sad.
'Cause you and I, we were born to die.
These people who promote this death positive message are losers. They're not winners. Here on Twitter, she said, and I will show you that nothing can happen more beautiful than death. Clearly, she is romanticizing death. And she has young, impressionable fans that look up to this message. And then they start to romanticize death. It's really awful. A winner would push through the pain. They would fight. They would not give up. They would be trying to survive and live forever. It's that survival instinct. That is the sign of a true winner that is willing to endure pain and suffering because they understand how precious life is. And that's what we should have. We should have that fighting spirit. And we would never, ever consider calling it quits on life. Life is far too special and amazing to ever give up. Living forever is possible. That's the message. Thank you for listening.